Hello, good evening. Many thanks for choosing GHOne TV. This is News Tonight. My name is Kweku Temin.
And I am Kemini Amano. Our top stories. President Akufo-Addo goes through media drills as he accounts for his stewardship after 1 year in office. So has his government been able to address the unemployment situation in the country? We'll find out.
Well, still on the presidency, Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo has reposed confidence in the police administration to quell terrorist infiltration. We'll speak to a security analyst on this. But
as we talk about development, we ask, must children walk about 4 miles to school? You'd want to know more a little later in the broadcast. So panties, handkerchiefs and all, everyone, a lot of people would want to buy. Well, tonight in business, the Ghana Standards Authority wants the Ministry of Trade to enforce laws on second-hand clothes. We'll also cross boundaries to bring you some news from around the world, some sports and entertainment news as well. Stay with us. Today we'll start off our broadcast with Insight. And we'll take you to the presidency and talk about job creation. Now, unemployment is a major issue in every country, a developing country that is, and Ghana is no exception. Even to some security experts, high rates of unemployment can undermine the very security of any nation. Now, according to the Institute of Statistical, Social and Economic Research, only 10% of graduates find jobs after first year of completing school. Now, that meets the press series, immediate encounter at the presidency. I asked the president about the unemployment situation in the country. This was his response.
Mr. President, my name is Kemini Amano. I work for GHOne Television. I'd like to know, how many jobs did your administration create, directly, indirectly, permanent or otherwise, over the past year? Now, respectfully, while you're at it, do tell us, how does that measure on unemployment in the country?
The statistics on the jobs, I think, as we all forget, I'm barely 1 year in office. Some of these statistics are being collected as we speak now. So the labor statistics as to the amount of jobs that have been created, those are not statistics that are at hand anywhere, even for me, for the government. I believe that they are in the process of being assembled. So perhaps in 2 or 3 months' time, we'll be in a position to answer that question in a more effective manner.
All right, so I'll share with you, the president actually mentioned that, well, he's barely a year in office and he might not have all the figures. But what we did here at GHOne TV is to step out there and try to collate some figures on really the unemployment situation in that country. And give me the opportunity to start from somewhere 1998 down 2013 and down 2016, and we'll bring you closer to what the president actually said today. So the unemployment rate in Ghana was pegged around 8.2%, that around 1998. So it tells you if the population around the time was somewhere within the bracket of 24 million, you had around 8.2% of the population being unemployed. Now I'll take you on 2 years on. Unemployment situation just got up a little bit to 10.4% from the 8.2%. But let's jump to 2010. 10 years after, we had unemployment situation reeling fast down to somewhere within the bracket of 5.3% around the region. What could have created that employment opportunities for the citizenry of Ghana? But those were statistics that were put together that we received by collating them through our own research. Within 2013, that's 3 years after, we had unemployment rate also just coming down marginally from the 5.3 to 5.2. So those are some statistics available, but I'll share more with you. So let's go down to 2015, 2 years after. The Ghana Statistical Labor Force Survey, that was a survey that was conducted by the Statistical Service, revealed that more than 1.2 million persons were unemployed in the country. So if you have an economy well over 26 million people, and around the time you had 1.2 million persons unemployed in the economy, it told you how the unemployment situation in the country was a turbulent one. Around the time, the percentage-wise, it was 11.9%. But more of these details down to 2016. Let's get some World Bank perspective of the unemployment situation in Ghana at the time. Well, the World Bank report stated that about 48%, and this time we're talking about the youth in the country. So let me peg it within the bracket of 17 to somewhere 39 to 40 years. People within this bracket, we had a whooping 48% of them unemployed at the time, and this was a major challenge. Now, I'll quickly tell you of really what the president said today, and that was a quote that I bring to you. The president said, "I am well aware that the success of my administration will be judged on job creation." It's one thing the president knows of, but really immediately he did not have the figures, Kimberly.
Well, in fact, and quick, with that quote you read there is from 6 months ago, July, when the president met the media again at the Flagstaff House, where, you know, he told us how passionately he wanted to deal with the issue of unemployment. And then we go back 6 months on, and we don't seem to
have the immediate figures.
Have any concrete figures to convince us that indeed some jobs are being created. But let's not take my word for it. Let's have a conversation with economist Dr. John Gachi. He's joined us via Skype. Doc, I'm grateful for your time. But here we are again. The president says that we do not have statistics at hand as far as you know, the number of jobs we have created is concerned. Talk to us again in 2 or 3 months. How effectively, well, first, let me pick your thoughts on it. What do you think about this response from the president on job creation?
Well, that is disappointing because if you listen to the team when they were in opposition and when they came to power initially, they indicated quite clearly that data is very important in managing the economy, and data includes unemployment data. In fact, you are managing the economy for the benefit of the citizens. And one of the areas that citizens benefit is their access to job opportunities and opportunities to unleash their innovative ideas. So if up to now you have not taken steps to ensure that data collection on unemployment or the generation of jobs for the people of Ghana is a priority after 1 year, then it means that the focus on ensuring that job creation is one of the benefits of economic management is undermined.
What is the possibility that we will see some figures in the next 2 to 3 months? Do you believe the president at all?
Well, I think it seems he's now going to judge his people because apparently during the meet the press, it became very clear to him that that is an important issue for the people of Ghana. So he may want to satisfy the people of Ghana to charge some people to get some data for him. But the point is that the data per se is not the issue. The issue is that unemployment has been an important priority for the government.
Absolutely.
Especially when they are trying to articulate what they want to do for the people of Ghana. So it is important that at any point in time that they want to tell the people of Ghana of their economic achievements, employment issues should be an integral part of that particular data. So I think that it is very clear that much attention has not been paid to employment generation. That is also reflected when the president talked about youth unemployment. He was only able to catalog across all the sectors the number of people who lined up for job opportunities and were not able to get. He was not able to give us the roadmap in terms of job creation that he has put in place. In fact, if you take the 2017 budget, the government intended to create 750,000 jobs from planting for food and jobs. And what it means is that one of the focus of that program is to ensure that we get a lot of young people into agriculture, because there are a lot of reports indicating that we are having a lot of aged farmers, aged people within the agriculture.
But Doc, without giving specifics, the president did mention that about 10,000 jobs were created in that sector alone. You know, as far as planting for food is concerned, it didn't do it for you?
No, that is not the case. As part of the of that policy framework, a lot of young people were to be incentivized to the agriculture sector. So if you want to deliver on that particular policy outcome, you should be in position to tell us how many young people were able to roll into the planting for food and jobs, and what category of youth are you talking about? Are they graduate young people, or are they young people who were limited in terms of their education at the SHS level or at the HND level, etc.? Because that was one of the policy intentions. So it means that we are only rolling out the policy without matching it to the intention of the policy. And that, I don't think is the best. Of course, the planting for food and jobs is an important program. Everybody thinks that it's a good program. But it means that the direction in terms of implementing it is not geared towards ensuring that we achieve the intention.
Well, Prof. Gachi, Kweku coming in here, if the response of the president was that, well, I have not been in office for quite long to be able to get all the figures readily. In terms of planting for jobs, well, they just rolled the policy out, so he might not have the figures readily at hand. Don't you find this answer acceptable?
It is not acceptable because you put in place that particular policy to solve a problem. One of the problems is engaging the young people in that program, engaging young people into agriculture. So why wouldn't you be interested in how the program is turning out to be in terms of that policy intention? So it is not an acceptable answer. Can you imagine the U.S. president standing before the people of U.S. and telling them economic achievement without telling them categorization of job creation? And that would not be acceptable as economic information.
Very well, Doc. We'll leave it here for now. Thank you very much. Professor GHOne Gachi is an economist with the University of Cape Coast Business School. That'll be all for Insight tonight, but there's more from the presidency ahead. Stay with us.
All right, we take more from the presidency, and here President Akufo-Addo has justified his exoneration of the Minister of Trade, Alan Kojo-Kyerematen, of the allegations of extortion by the Trade and Industry Minister, well, the recently held Ghana Expatriate Awards. When quizzed about how he arrived at the conclusion, even before the 5-member ad hoc committee wraps up on the investigations, the president explained he is pleased by the explanation given him by the sector minister.
I was there at the occasion, and nobody had made me aware that there was anything like people buying money to sit next to me or anything. So it came as a surprise to me. And I asked for an explanation from him, and he gave me a full account of the process that had been undertaken, the monies that had been paid, the use of the monies, and I mean, a full accounting. I looked at it, I examined it with others, and was satisfied that it had responded to the allegation that had been made. And I believe the statement he made to me is the very same statement that he made to the committee. And it has been supported by virtually everybody who was involved in the organization of the event. So I believe that I was on firm ground in saying to myself that yes, an allegation has been made, it has been looked into, queries that I put on the matter have been responded to, and I'm satisfied with the quality of the responses that I have got. The fact that there is a public inquiry in it, in itself, to me, does not shake my own conviction that nothing untoward had taken place. And that is the reason why I took the position that I did. I took that position before the inquiry was launched.
Now, have you ever thought that the president is going to reduce what critics have described as his elephant-sized ministerial portfolio, then he got it all wrong. According to the president, all his 110 ministers are delivering on their mandate, and so he does not see the need to trim. The president made the pronouncement at the media encounter earlier today.
The answer about the 110 is the same as I gave at the beginning. The proof of the pudding is in the eating. Let us see the performance of the government. So far, I believe the government is performing well. That's my assessment. You may have a different assessment, but that is my assessment, and that is the justification for the numbers that there are. They were brought in to do a job, not just to fill offices, and I believe that they are doing a good job. So that's my response.
Well, one thing I bet you'd be looking forward to is your national identification card, probably if you are a Ghanaian. But President Akufo-Addo did not mince words when he promised Ghanaians that by the end of 2017, the national identification card will be operationalized. But few weeks into 2018, the national ID has not seen the light of day. Well, President Akufo-Addo has been explaining why the national ID card has been put on hold.
Unfortunately, with the national ID system, which is delayed, the law under which the program was going to be unveiled was at the last minute subjected to another review and found to be inadequate. So a new LI, because the process has to take place and be implemented under an enabling law. A new LI is ready for submission to Parliament when Parliament reassembles on the 23rd, and after the 21 days working period is over, it will be ready to go into motion. But it is certainly not on the back burner because it's such an important aspect of our own overall strategy for going forward.
Still from the presidency, President Akufo-Addo says his government is yet to take any decision on the Guantanamo Bay detainees in Ghana. In fact, he says that once that decision is taken, it will be forwarded to Parliament for deliberations when the House reconvenes. He also added that he's fully aware that a decision has to be made on Mahmoud Umar Mohamed bin Atef and Khalid Mohamed Salih Al-Dabi, who were brought to Ghana in 2016 for a period of 2 years. The two who have exhausted their stay in the country are still here. But take a listen to the president's response to that question.
No detainees. The period is up. A decision has to be made and that decision is under active. We need to be able to say something to the Parliament when it resumes, because the period under which the agreement was brought has come to an end. We have to decide whether or not we're going to grant them permission to stay, whether we're going to make arrangements for them to go somewhere else. All those things are being actively examined as we sit. But I'm fully aware that a decision on them has to be made, and it cannot be made in 6 months or 5 months. It has to be made.
All right, so we'll stay at the presidency some more, as President Akufo-Addo has said that the government is doing everything possible to block the infiltration of terrorists. Well, the president said he is confident in the police service to quell any possible threats. The president made that statement when he met with the media at the Flagstaff House today.
Although Ghana has not experienced any terrorist attack, some security experts have warned the country is not immune to the global threats. About 2 years ago, a graduate from the KNUST was reported to have joined ISIS. 2 days ago, some persons were arrested for possessing grenades. So how is the government responding to these threats?
Ghana, in principle, cannot be exempt as a potential target. So the security preparedness of our country is an extremely important matter. But I think that as far as our state is compared especially to many of the states in our region, so far so good on our part.
On the issue of the menace of the Fulani herdsmen in Agogo and other parts of the country, President Akufo-Addo said the issue needs a thorough approach.
The Fulani menace, yes, the time has come for an attempt at a comprehensive policy to deal with it. It is important that we devise a comprehensive proposal to be able to deal with the matter, not just the firefighting as you're talking about. But it is important that once you're devising methods of how the cattle can be maintained and properly quarantined and looked after, that also the pure law and order measures that need to be taken to prevent violence, to make sure that the herdsmen behave within the context of the law.
Let's have a conversation on the back of those sound bites that you heard from the president. He touched on 3 critical issues as far as security is concerned: the Gitmo 2, the ISIS threat, and the Agogo situation in the Ashanti region. Let's speak to Dr. Kwesi Ainen. He's director of the Faculty of Academic Affairs and Research at the Kofi Annan International Peacekeeping and Training Center. Good evening, Doc, and thank you for your time. From what you heard from the president, does it appear that the administration is on top of the security issues that seem to plague us at this moment? Doc.
Hello.
Doc, good evening, and thanks for joining us.
Well, that's a great pleasure.
I was asking earlier, from what you heard from the president, does it appear that the administration is on top of the security issues that the country is facing at the moment?
Well, I heard his statement on the Fulani thing. So that's what you want me to do.
And what do you think about it?
Well, I like this holistic approach to thing, because that is what has been lacking. For almost 2 decades, we've had a purely confrontational stroke law enforcement approach to a problem that the failure of multiple state agencies, has turned it from droplets of crisis into an increasingly nationwide and an international crisis. So having a holistic approach that looks at all facets of the problem, ensuring that farmers and herders can live and let live in a manner that sustains livelihoods, I think it's one of the first positive, thoughtful interventions that I have had since this crisis started about 15, 20 years ago.
Well, we'll see how that plays out over the next year before we meet the president again. But, Doc, he also spoke about the Gitmo 2. The president was honest to tell us, look, we haven't taken a decision on them yet, but what we do, which we plan on doing as soon as possible, we'll take to Parliament for deliberations. How does that come to you?
Well, I mean, when you inherit somebody's problem, it's very difficult to first simply abrogate the contract, and it's very difficult to even make amends. So I think it's very fair that he honestly says, look, yes, we are considering it, but we will take it to Parliament when we make a decision. And after that, we will inform the people of that. That is what inclusive, transparent, responsible, responsive governance is about. So that is very good also. And I think we need to be patient until it goes to Parliament, and then we are informed about it. And then we can all contribute to what we think about it.
Doc, let's go outside of the presidency just for a little bit. 2 years down the line after the country accepted the Gitmo 2 detainees, what would be your assessment of how we have handled their stay in the country, given the backdrop that nearly the entire nation was on tenterhooks once we were told that, you know, these people were coming from Guantanamo Bay as ex-detainees and we are accepting them, and whatever, you know, circumstances were not really clear to us at the time. 2 years down the line, what would be your assessment?
Well, the concern that we expressed 2 years ago was because we were kept out in the dark. And of course, knowing how dangerous these characters are, we legitimately had concerns. And look, who are these guys? What was the nature of the agreement? Why did they come to Ghana? But be that as it may, kudos to national security and their minded that they've kept them under control, and we haven't had any adverse experience.
Well, now let's talk about ISIS, the threat of ISIS, or, you know, what many Ghanaians have come to call it once, you know, some hand grenades were found with some people here in the capital city. Now, the president's response was, look, we're strong on the ground. There's no need to panic. Is there really no need?
Well, I wouldn't worry nor lose sleep. But I'm neither surprised also that Islamic State has managed to recruit people, giving them training, and re-infiltrated them into the country. This is going to continue. The way in which this intelligence was obtained through police community collaboration is exciting. We need to continue to build on that track so that people will share information in a manner that collaboratively we can keep the state very secure.
Well, Doc, I'm grateful for your time. Thank you very much. Dr. Kwesi Ainen is Director of the Faculty of Academic Affairs and Research at the Kofi Annan International Peacekeeping and Training Center. Now, quickly.
Well, so we'll move away from the presidency a little bit and talk about other issues of national interest. Now, imagine your child walking a distance of about 4 miles to school. Well, that is the situation some children at Aprede Kwamantin in the Eastern region go through due to lack of an established school. A worried parent told GHOne News fatigue sometimes affects the children's concentration level. Kojo Ansa, my colleague in the Eastern region, has more on the story.
These children walk about 4 miles to school every day. A risky trek for these children, a situation they have to grapple with as they defy the odds to get education. Interestingly, a 3-unit classroom block erected by a benevolent organization in 2011 has become a white elephant, the reason being that it has not been officially commissioned. A completed classroom block sitting in the Aprede Kwamantin community has been reduced to a decorated doll, while children go through harsh conditions to access education. Some residents have also been sharing how the situation is inconveniencing education of children in the community.
on home ba we ene wan ko school car ba be fa no car no ama akoda kitikiti obe 90 baby akoda we be 90 asa na obe ko school no se wo fasa kwa sukura wo bre na so akoda kiti wa we obe 90 se wo si da bia obe tua ti say 7 cedis ansa na oba be ko school ana 10 cedis ansa na oba be ko school dako.
If they can help us so that we start the school, because the building has been completed for so many years now, and the children, the young ones are still in the house, not able to go to the schools which are near.
Henry Agogli, unit committee chairman and opinion leader, has this to say.
After building the school, the DC came here and then said, oh, as the school was completed, then he will find a way so that he will open the school. Up to now, the school was built almost about 6 years or something like that. Up to now, it's there. They didn't open it. So if the new MPP government can help us this time and open it for us, I think we will like it.
Efforts made to get MCE for Akuapem North Municipality, Dennis Abuaje, proved futile.
People living with disability in the Sunyani municipality of the Bono Alpha region are lamenting unpaid portion of the district assembly's common fund. They expressed their displeasure at the first general meeting of the Sunyani branch of the People Living with Disability held over the weekend.
Members of the association further indicated the situation is making life unbearable for them, as they often go in for loans to survive. They also bemoan the stigmatization and discrimination still perpetuated against living with disabilities.
First, Nana, I say, Senkaka wo ho. Na ye the complaints because say we see this kind of mayano. Ye ni enye ho. Nti o me wa gesen ko system non ko mayano fufuro. E de amayen. But by afini no yente hwe do o ma be twetwere din no e de kwade na yente hwe fa ho
ebia na me your baby maybe ehum say like he want to marry me. The society, they will not accept me. They will say I am a disabled, I can't do this, I can't do that, they will not accept me. Maybe the man too, he loves to marry me. And the landlord, a few raffon so we will all hide down. They all say, won't mean you say, and just a baby.
Raphael Bocho Nkegbe, a member of the association and para-Olympian, called on the government to support the team to prepare adequately towards the Commonwealth Games in Australia.
Locally, preparation haven't started yet because the ministries and the sports authority have sent a lot in terms of our preparation. The preparation is in 2 phases. They said we're having local preparation, then we can go international to go and have 1-month preparation before moving to the Commonwealth game, who will start from 4th to 15th April. So far, as individual athletes, I'm preparing and being one of the athletes that has qualified. This is my 2nd time going to the Commonwealth game, and I'm having a high hope.
All right, so it's now time for us to give you some updates from our world of business. Thanks to Dusk Capital.
Business Brief is brought to you by Dusk Capital. We see a millionaire in you. We're looking for you, the next millionaire. We know of your stressful routine. From those 12-hour flights across the Atlantic to your hustle through traffic every day. From burning the midnight oil to that laptop that never sleeps. We know where you are in life, and we know where you want to go. Let us take you there. Thinking investment? Think Dusk Capital. Dusk Capital. We see a millionaire in you.
Henry, what is wrong with you and your laptop? It is not working.
Hey. What at all is going on in this house?
Your son's laptop is not working and my phone.
me kai me mo frabrim na me maame de me ko Freddy's corner enti ene eye manager se me di Freddy's corner ho adanse a kire mabusia na de ba ko a me kai wo Freddy's corner eye se de wo siti wonim ejeji wo customers. Eba mobile phone, eba laptop papa, camera papa ni PlayStation eye Freddy's corner aha in the wall. Se ko ba to mobile phone say, o camera say, o laptop say and a PlayStation. Me ha ho kra. Freddy's corner be try you go amount. Freddy's corner, your home of authentic mobile phones and accessories.
Jame, therefore, ma yawo hoyi brings you. Na fe yemu so mo kwan se de therefore se no
wada wo ma manento nana se ensu asem de mo ha na okra ye ba no ye de ensu ba
adai se waba efie a wo se yen ma mo ensu nom no wo so de ensu ba ene sai
nana eti amra
therefore
yesre wo ensu we eye ahemfu nsu a ye de afa mfidie aso ne so
various individuals. However, in light of this, same traders who deal in the second-hand underwears and handkerchiefs at the Kantimanto market say the move will leave them wallowing in poverty.
In Ghana, it is called Fos. In Kenya, it's Mitumba. In Rwanda, it's Chagwa. And in eastern Zambia, it's called Salaula. Most African languages have a word used to describe them. Some second-hand wares that start life wrapped across the bodies of well-meaning Westerners end up for sale at open market in African countries like Ghana. The United Nations has estimated that 80% of Africans wear second-hand clothes, while Oxfam, a charitable organization, says about 70% of clothes donated globally end up in Africa. These unwanted wares from Europe seem to be in high demand here in Ghana, as there are over 200 traders who mount stands or tables at the Kantimanto market every day. Among those traders are those who retail used underwears and other personal effects in spite of their ban. Low purchasing power forces many people in Ghana to lean towards more affordable used clothes. Naturally, high demand incentivizes traders who edge a living out of this used clothing.
Second hand, and so no. Me fan say, we say a second hand. We cramp ya tonwa, we have 3 cities. And now they are brand new, no so no. A boy has 6 cities. It's in the penny na day. Omobenya sa 6 cities no. No makwa cotton. We say na ye ton 3 cities, ne 4 cities no. E wo mu akrampo na etimi bone don komi bo a 1 city.
Janet Emmanuel, a Nigerian who has traded in second-hand underwear for the last 10 years, indicated that she is yet to encounter any officials for flouting the ban.
Whether it is second this in dress or underwear or brassiere or any other thing, it has to be washed before using it. You know, anything second-hand is something somebody have already worn. So it had to be washed before you use it. So there is no harm there. If they ban it, which means they want to hurt the less privileges.
Ghana Standards Authority regulation stipulates no person shall import for commercial purpose or in commercial quantities any of the following goods which are second-hand or which have been used: handkerchiefs, men, women and children's underpants, mattresses and sanitary wear. Nonetheless, these second-hand mattress dealers will not budge.
Mattress no home use no money ban. FPA, it's not your quality. No both flow form. Any deal Ghana one brand new. Every 3 months omutum. Every 3 months omutum. Ama ne tono ayetin. Obi ankwafo super. Ba obi aba ne second so na wako. First say omudi home use you buy ayeto. Amount for topa.
Gusayama is very good, but the point is, it's a free market, it's a free world. Allow the latest foam and the ash foam people. They should sell their own. Standard boss should check our own. If you bring, because me, I know the kind of mattresses I sell. When you bring the mattresses, and it is not of the quality, because some of the mattresses, they just mention the name second-hand mattress. But when you see it, it's brand new. It's just when I tell you even they've not used it, you don't know. And you tell me I should go and buy latest phone mattress. No.
These recalcitrant retailers risk being slapped with a fine not exceeding 500,000 Ghana cedis or imprisonment for a term not exceeding 1 year or to both. Members of the public, however, have mixed reactions towards the ban.
I believe that there are some people that they don't have money, so that's why they come to this level. If they have the money, they will go to the big store and buy nice things for themselves and their children. But because they don't have the money, so they have to come down to this level. But I want to say that the government, before they take any decision at all concerning this matter, they should consider the welfare of the people who are doing it. Because that is their life. That's where they made their ends meet.
As for me, I can say second hand, they are good. Because people, sometimes we don't have money to buy the new things. It's better for us to use the second hand. So I advise the government to not ban it because we need it.
But it's better to prevent than to cure. You understand? Yeah. If that's going to bring good sanitation in Ghana and then good improvement of health and stuff, then why don't we cooperate with them?
Now, some labor unions have bemoaned government's delay in the formation of a board at the National Labour Commission to adjudicate labor issues in the country. The latest to speak to this issue is the General Secretary of the General Agricultural Workers Union, Edward Karue, who told GHOne Business the situation has created a backlog of cases, added that it needs urgent attention from government.
Edward Karue, who was reacting to the president's silence on the matter as he met with the media as part of assessment of the 1 year in office, said even though the unions have sent their list of commissions, the president is yet to give his approval for them to commence their duties. He noted the situation has the tendency to affect dispute resolution on the job market.
The determination of the board members have to come from the three stakeholders, major ones, government, employers, and then labor or organized labor. Much has gone into it, and it's now left with the president to probably appoint them and then commission them to do their work.
The mandate of the existing commission expired at the latter part of 2017, hence the absence of the commissioners to play the role of mediators and arbitrators at the NLC. He called for the expansion of their operations.
It's a serious challenge, seriously, and we think that not only about the board, but the commission needs a lot of resources. And we think that this year and going forward, more offices should be opened for in the regions, Kumasi, Tamale, and so on, so that those far from Accra could access this type of important services.
All right, so we go back to the presidency, where President Akufo-Addo says his government has saved the country some $7 billion since reviewing the 24 power purchase agreements. Well, the review, the president adds, has led to the termination of 11 of those pacts. The president also touted his administration's ability to stabilize the erratic power situation in Ghana. He explained that not only is regular supply important, but competitive rates of power are equally important. Against that backdrop, the president reiterated the reduced tariffs for SMEs.
Tariff rates for non-residential users of electricity, which embrace most SMCs, have been reduced by an average of 14% to boost their competitiveness. Furthermore, an industrial development tariff has been approved for industry to enhance its competitiveness. A new rate of $6.50 cents per million British thermal units, MMBTU, as against the previous rate of $8.84 cents per million British thermal units, has been approved, established, a 26.5% reduction. In addition, a review of 24 power purchase agreements, which has led to the termination of 11 power deals and the rescheduling of 8 others, has enabled us to save the government treasury about $7 billion in excess capacity charges over a 13-year contract period.
That'll be all for business. Next is International Brief. Well, let's turn attention to news coming from elsewhere on the continent. Now, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf is in the last days of her reign as Africa's first democratically elected female president. Now, Sirleaf has, however, set a political battle for herself days out of office. According to a spokesman, the Liberian president regards the decision by the Unity Party to expel her as illegal. She says she will return to the party to seek redress after she hands over power on January 22. The 79-year-old was on January 14 thrown out of the UP, on whose ticket she won 2 mandates to be president of the country. The party's executive committee accused Sirleaf of not backing the vice president, leading to the loss of power. Sirleaf, after the first round, refuted allegation that she had interfered with the electoral process by meeting officials of the election body at her residence. She will pass on the presidential baton to former World Footballer of the Year George Weah, who beat Sirleaf's deputy Joseph Boakai in a poll runoff in December 2017.
All right, so we'll stay on the international front more as Catalan MPs have elected a pro-independent speaker at their first meeting since Madrid dissolved the region's parliament. While separatist parties who remain dominant after December's election want Charles Puigdemont to be president again. The ex-leader risks arrest if he returns from self-imposed exile in Belgium. He is wanted by Spain on charges of rebellion and sedition over last year's independence drive. Spanish MPs elected the Catalan regional vote last month and will be sworn in on Wednesday. But Parliament is expected to be emptier than usual, as many who won seats are either in jail or self-imposed exiles following October's outlawed session referendum.
That'll be all for International Brief. Now, Kweku, one of the highlights from the media encounter today is Countryman Songo.
Of course,
when
more fire. I kept hearing that.
Oh yeah. That's coming up in sports. Stay with us. Now, the president has revealed during his encounter with the media at the Flagstaff House that the 2014 white paper produced by the GHOne Commission to serve as a roadmap on football administration in the country has not been one of his major worries. The GHOne Commission uncovered a number of allegations, including the embezzlement of state funds as the reason behind the airlifting of some $3 million to pay Black Stars during the 2014 World Cup.
To be honest, I've forgotten about the 2014 white paper. But I have no doubt that my Minister of Sports is fully up to it and will advise in due course what should be the reaction of me and the government to it. But it has not been something that has been very much on my radar, the 2014 white paper on sports.
All right, so let me tell you now about a football legend. That's Brazilian World Cup winner Ronaldinho has retired from football, although he has not played a game since 2015. Well, Ronaldinho, 37, was part of the triumphant Brazil 2002 World Cup squad that won the Champions League in 2006 with Barcelona and won the Ballon d'Or in 2005. His brother and agent Robert Assis confirmed the retirement on Tuesday and announced a series of tribute events. Ronaldinho started his career with Grêmio in Brazil before moving to Paris Saint-Germain in 2001. After 5 years at Barcelona and 2 La Liga titles, he also had a spell at AC Milan, where he won the 2010-2011 Serie A title. He moved to Brazilian side Flamengo in 2011 before spells at Atletico Madrid, Quadrero in Mexico, and Fluminense. Well, so that was a life-fulfilling career for him there.
Yes. Yeah, I think I'll still do that now. I always did that as a child. But
all right. Well, as a child, well, and you still do that.
I
Let
like
me keep it at
Ronaldinho.
that. Well, it's still fabulous.
And he had this smirk on his face every time on the field. I don't remember seeing him angry, ever.
Well, there's one thing I keep saying. When the applause is loud, occasionally you should set out. I think he kept his retirement on too much. Right from 2015, he's not being able to play any match, and he was still giving the hopes that he's still in active football.
Yeah, legendary. But there's also coming up GHOne, and we're talking. Do you have an idea what we're talking about?
Okay, so Kanye West is on. If you know about the rap and
yes,
everything, and the baby
do.
and everything.
Yes,
Make
baby
money
girl.
Out of
they give birth to a Capricorn, and I'm very happy about that. Sure. Yes, they use the surrogate, I hear. But that's okay if you've got a lot of money. Let's take a look at Kanye and Kim Kardashian West. And GHOne. Well, I won't be surprised if that baby is indeed named Heaven after we've seen North and Saint.
Absolutely, yeah. But I was going to ask if you would.
I can't wait to know the name.
Okay, so
whether or not I'll use a surrogate. One, if I have the money and I have the difficulty, why not? Or if I just feel like
you don't have any difficulty.
No, I don't.
Or you don't want the pressure of it carrying.
Well, if I decide and I want to use the surrogate, why not?
Amazing.
Yeah. Well, that'll be all for tonight.